Opa! Enquanto isso, vamos conversando sobre a Fórmula 1 aqui. Race Heaven Split B está para começar. Está para começar.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Lidert.
Apologize for the abrupt launch to things.
Boa tarde, Manuel.
Zero time being wasted here today.
Bora que vai começar a Split B aí do Race Heaven. Ah, gatilho, por que tu não tá correndo? Porque eu consegui me classificar pro Lobby A, então eu sou a próxima corrida. Tudo bom, meus queridos.
And we have got quite a host of competitors joining us as we're about to see them head through. Of course, this is split 2 here.
Pro Play.
Now you can see all of the GTPs making their way through to the front of the order in order to get into their prime positions.
Chique, chique.
While we're doing that, how is everybody doing?
Volta de apresentação aqui no Lobby B, vão voltar, provavelmente a colisão estava bugada.
What looks like a restart going ahead. Yep, there will be a restart of the lobby to check settings. Just been informed on the back end there has been a minor issue. So, while we've got that going on, collision bug, yeah, fair enough, collision bug as per. So, while we're going through that, let's talk about the drivers, let's talk about the driver list. And here in split.
Enquanto isso, Fórmula 1, Piastri em primeiro, Russell em segundo, Leclerc em terceiro, Hamilton em quarto, Norris em quinto. Fórmula 1 tá bem good hoje, hein?
We have got a few drops as well to consider. This is in large part, I think, due to certain other motorsport events going on around this time.
Deixa eu arrumar isso aqui também.
But joining us for today, we have Daniel in the Noodle.
Que aqui é outro layout, né, velho? Aqui é outro layout.
Making an appearance, the staff member. We got Noodle as well. The Noodle Cosmic is the number 20. You can see there some of the liveries at least appearing on the viewfinder. Still trying to shift a cough, but not quite happening.
O patrão resolveu andar, tá andando, tá lá em
GTPs we have got Pedron for the
sétimo.
We have got Reese Racer as well running that Zephyrus Spit.
Não, terceiro? Tá em terceiro, carai. Dale. Ultrapassando o Hamilton nesse exato momento.
The Chevrolet Aerolite running the M4 Pop Roki also in the C8 alongside the Porsche Top Notch Racing of Geekin. Cherlin is going to be taking the M4 GT3 with Sea Dwarf taking the Mercedes.
Vai lá.
Coming through with Zephyrus Racing once more. Dex Raffaello and Freitas from HYR. NWR is going to have Bradders along with Godley in LES and TNR Horizon along with Railgun, who's just made their way through, and Darkser, who is rejoining alongside. So the both of them going to be jumping in
Valeu, boa sorte aí, rapaziada.
Once again. And we also ought to talk about the results from Split 2. Last time out, it was Canuck who took top honors. Even with 7 seconds of penalties, they still led the charge, with Iceman getting second and getting the fastest lap as well. So 70 and 65 points respectively. F1R Sean took third place.
Sunday é bom?
Watkins,
Não sei.
with JJ, Reds, Brian and Berserk completing your GTP classification. Then in the GTs, it was actually Railgun in the Mercedes who won for the class there. So they got themselves a healthy dose of points. 162 points to be exact. Got Noodle Beats as well, who I don't think is in this lobby. And Skiddy completing the second and third spots. Aerolide in fourth, Dindu in fifth. Darius, Otavio, Bradders, Gatillo, Asalale, Dark Yazity, Decoy, and Danny finishing things.
Começar, hein?
But anyway, second time lucky, hopefully. We're going to be going out once again. Now, we've had the qualifying, and that has allowed everyone to place. So just seeing where everyone's going to be landing themselves up here. I have got the quali results alongside here as well. Fastest time around Silverstone. It is in fact a 44.511. That belongs to COD Chaos. Get everything rigged up here. Annoyingly, my controller does not always want to play ball. Everyone lining up now. I think out of this cohort, it was Ruiz Racer who was the fastest prototype out on the field. So let's take a look at them as they make their way up. So, first off, Ruiz Racer. Good here. Pedrin is going to be following closely behind.
Pedrin.
Nice look with the decks white, green, and a dash of blue there as well. You see the finer details. Neiman's going to be in third, running a nice LES black and a gold livery in that hybrid car. With a sort of Oakley livery. Or at least a few different styles. As I say, it's very different. A bit of a departure from the usual Team Noodle color palette.
Gogo Einstein.
Also running Swordfish Motorsport.
Ah?
And then Cosmic rounds out the order in a
Gogo Einstein,
more
tá.
salmon-looking Team Noodle cars we come to expect. Then let's look at the GTs. So we saw some of the previews, but here's Aerolide, fastest GT of Split 2 qualifying.
Go Pedrinho, go
Followed closely
Raffarello,
by
go
Horizon
Dex,
in the number 17 companion car. H12 Freitas,
go Dex.
the number 504, looking very nice.
Ó o livery do
In
Freitinhas
this
aí,
color
ó.
palette in particular, the Brazilian flag adorning that Audi. Followed by Campai,
Legal.
very dark livery. There you've got that almost very deep blue. It's a nice look. Proki also will be peeking up behind. Peregrine, I like the look. Another TNR car, this time the Porsche of Geekin with Chrysalid closing in behind the iHeartRadio number 811 BMW. Godley is going to be coming through. Very loud and proud livery
Bonita,
there. They're using,
Caralho, bonita
I
essa
can't remember
pintura.
the name of it, but it's that almost oil slick effect and masking over it to create this really
Caralho, bonita
nice
mesmo.
color shift. Got Bradders behind with NWO, the really
Valeu,
nice
valeu,
color
Noel.
gradient, followed by Sholin for ZR. Railgun is going to be rounding things off. Peak liveries designs. And then another Dex car joining. This time in similar colours, but more of the blue compared to the other colours of the team. And then you have a Patronus AMG style. Very nice. But back to the top now, as everyone's going to get in double file. Time to go racing. This is split 2, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to stick around for split 1, of course, in an hour's time. 46 laps, about an hour of racing. Let's have it.
Let's go. Bora, Pedrinho.
Cruising around to the start-finish line. As soon as the front runners go, it is go time. The track
Começou, hein?
is hot.
Pedrinho largou melhor que o Ruiz Racer,
Is
velho.
about to commence. Ruiz
E aí?
leads. And here we go. Full push immediately out the gate. Chaos.
Ora,
in the
Pedrinho,
GTs
Pedrinho.
Well, as we are going to see the return of a familiar face. We're going to see the return of the picture-in-picture cam in just a moment. There you go. You can see chaos erupts at the bottom end as we're on board with Railgun at the same time as keeping up with all of the action here on the prototypes. Ruiz has managed to get that early jump, and he's not being any signs of yielding in that scenario. We're going to check in with some of the others. Say, we'll go jump over to Cruise the Lid in our mini view. Plugger, thank you for the tier 1 as well. We see you there. Say, all of the contributions, subscriptions, etc., they do go towards making this even better. We've got Darkser alongside Nieman as they challenge for P5 here. Go side by side. Headed into
Pedrinho tá em
a
terceiro.
little bit of a slide there. Darkser taking a bit too much heat. Not quite going to be getting that move done just yet. Pedrinho's having a bit of a fight of his own as he's on... Well, he's got noodle cars either side of him. He's been challenged by Daniel and he's got himself up into P2. But Pedrinho is not going to let that one go easy. He just needs to be careful. Otherwise, Cosmic will breathe down his neck and will have almost too much of a good time.
Bora trazer esse P1 aí.
Just going off the track. Oh, no, was that? No, that was Kampai. And Geekin as well. We're going to keep that picture-in-picture view because there's too much to be keeping up with all at once, to be honest with you folks. We go nice side-by-side there as well from Kampai on the side of Chrysalid. Looks like the prototypes have mostly settled themselves down and they've found a bit of equilibrium within the track. Let's actually check in mainline with the GT class. We'll use the intervals to keep an eye on prototypes, but eyes down middle. Eakin and Seedwolf, they had a bit of a back and forth just a moment ago. We might even see a challenge for the lead of the GTs as Horizon is on the back of Aerolite. Let's see if he challenges. See if he goes for it. A little bit of a wobble. Not quite looking neat and tidy as they may have hoped. Keep the balance in the car. That's really what matters more than anything else. Bit of a shaky cam on the camera operator.
Da hora, o Pedrinho fez bem os S.
Check in MC, Sea Dwarf and Railgun side by side. Coming out Woodcote, headed into Cops. Cops corner. This could get dicey for the two. See, Pedrinho might also have a sniff at P3. We'll be ready to jump into them any moment.
Alguém foi para areia.
Looks like Daniel, though, is going for a very early... And, oh, contact made! Contact. Dwarf is off into the gravel, just heading into Maggots and Beckett.
Eita porra.
Daniel with a very early
Dwarf e Railgun, teve contato aí, hein?
Ruiz is going to stay in the lead with Pedrinho.
Na minha visão, toque de corrida, velho. Toque de corrida. Segue o jogo.
Chrysalid running very slow as well. Try and get a bit of a read on exactly what happened there. It looks like they don't have clips enabled for anyone by default. So, Chrysalid, you know what to do.
Libera o clipe aí, Chrysalid, carai.
Spots is Pop Roki. One of the C8s on the course. Could be challenging for a P4 at this situation. Just needs to keep calm.
E aí, Dani?
Keep the tail nice and gripped up here. He is power outside. We're heading onto the Wellington Straight now. You've got to get those lineups perfect if you want to close the gap. Like we're seeing here with Geekin. Kampai on the right. Goes down the inside in the Porsche. Use a bit of that slip angle to your advantage there. That more rearward bias. All bit of contact between them.
Opa, Pedrinho pegou o P2 aí, nem vi, carai.
So Kampai's having a wobble. Railgun could get an opportunity out of this too. Oddly about a second behind his LES compatriot. But here comes Railgun. Could be a bit risky here, challenging into Maggots and Beckett's. That's a high-risk move. You don't see that usually. Goes for the send. Manages to make it work. I think that was a little bit of rubbing.
Caramba, Riga.
But he manages to seal it down. Checking quickly on the prototypes. You see Niemann currently sat in P4. 7/10 of a second. Currently splits himself. But all quiet on the prototype front. For the most part, anyway. The curious thing is that throughout all of this, Godley has made up about half a second, so we will check back in with him periodically and see exactly where he's at.
Nossa, o carro do Sainz tá aberto na lateral, velho. Olha o buraco, mano.
Check in with the leaders as well, as we do see the two TNR cars remaining close. I don't think they're actually going to challenge each other.
Pedrinho tá chegando no Ruiz Racer, hein?
I would stand to believe that they are actually... Keep a firm eye on these two, as well as the lead for prototype, but we're going to jump in with now, as they both head their way down into the start of lap 6. Pedrin is within about 1/10 of a second, or at least fluctuating around that area.
Pedrinho tá fazendo esses S aí melhor que o Ruiz Racer, velho. Olha, ó, a tangência do Pedrinho, fala do homem, pega. Colou, hein? Colou. Little Peter versus Ruiz Racer. Little Peter.
Yeah, we're also going to check picture in picture. You can see there is a fight going on. Raffaello and Godley. In fact, let's go on with Godley's perspective of that. Nicely fought. Well fought between the two. Raffaello into the inside line. Bit of contact between them. Could this be a chance for Chrysalid as well to get involved? Good switch back from the M4. Godley's having a bit of a difficult time. Oh, Ruiz making a mistake and really kicking the rear.
Bora, Pedrinho, carai.
Not good at all for him. In fact,
Pedrinho P1, porra. Bora.
Through the cones to rejoin. So that's also going to yield the position to Cosmic. A bit of a struggle being had by Ruiz, but hopefully he regains that composure and he's able to push forward again. Started very strong, but I think just cracked under the pressure. Pedrin is a force to be reckoned with. See, they're looking like rocket ships as they make their way through the first sector. We'll see how those prototypes do, but for now, let's check in on Freitas. As the waiting game that has been Horizon and Aerolite has bore fruit for the HYR car. Within half a second right now. It looks like there has been a bit of an off as well. Looks like Raffaello left the track to gain position. Or to retain position. We're just trying to get a bit of a clip now to see exactly what happened. working on that periodically in the background. Let's check in as we can see Railgun heading into the pits there. The Railgun gaining, but then losing the position, such as the nature of the pit lane. So just trying to get that clip for you now, folks, about what happened. So we're going to see if we can put up on the picture-in-picture cam. So we can see there is a fight with, say, Chrysalid and Raffaello. They make contact, but then Raffaello pushes forward to seemingly gain advantage on Chrysalid coming off of the collision. So much more advantageous. So there you go. We're going to hopefully use this cam as well during a bit of downtime for some clips. So if you do have any clips that maybe give us a bit of insight on trackside, send them in. Do send them in, because you never know. You see Cholin's on the back of Bradders, looking for a clean shot, headed into Stowe. Nicely done from Cholin. Clean line, well executed. And we're seeing a bit of traffic navigation, as that looks to be Railgun. We're coming off his pit stop much further behind the others. Daniel is also starting to gain a bit of time back.
Bora, Pedrinho. Caiu?
But here goes Pedrin now into the pits.
Caiu o stream?
Current leader for prototypes, now going through.
Colocaram muita parada nessa corrida. Ah, 1h30, né? 3 paradas, obrigatório, pô. Ia parar de qualquer forma.
There you go, Pedrin's going to be coming out 5th by the looks of things. You know, just making his way out of the pit lane, back onto the course. Osmic is right on the tail of Ruiz, however. They're just simultaneously checking on some of the others. Let's see what our beautiful little picture-in-picture cam has. Here's Raffaello.
Let's go, Raffaello.
The Dex car gets a bit of an advantage on the apex. Has the line heading into the next corner. Bit of slide between two, bit of contact. Both of them bumping through Maggots, Beckett's Chapel. A little better of an exit, in fact much better of an exit, and gripping up on the power for Raffaello. There you go, that is a move as good as secured as Ruiz. Under pressure from Cosmic. Bit of traffic could serve to get in the way. Ruiz is going to be boxed into the left, but both of them going to be racing each other into the pit lane. And both coming out almost perfectly equal. Interesting how the intervals are kind of messing up a little bit at the moment. Partially curious how Daniel is going to be coming out of this, considering the fact that he took a pit stop much earlier than the others. Much earlier. So I'm not sure what his game plan is. Remember, folks, we have 4 mandatory pit stops here at Silverstone. Important thing to note. This is going to play a big factor in people's strategies. Those 4 mandatory stops can be a big strategic factor. So you see Reese Racer, Cosmic continuing to run close. Let's check with Reese and see how he's running through some of this traffic as well. As that is, in fact, you can see behind that is Daniel, I want to say. Or at least someone noodle flavored behind. Oh no, that's Cosmic. Cosmic's dropped time.
Ih, Pedrinho tá pressionado, hein?
But Daniel is actually still in this little pocket of the track. The Neiman and Darkser have taken top honours as the rest of the field have pitted in. Ruiz is going to get that challenge and is going to overtake Pedrin. Now this is for the net lead of the race, folks. Worth keeping in mind. This is the net lead. So this is
Pedrinho tomou do Ruiz Racer.
battle. This is first, second and third all together. See, throughout all of this time, we've also got Daniel, who is technically net P4, slowly gaining. This is going to be a move that files in his favor.
Deixa eu botar em live aqui, né? Toma. Toma
Well
foto.
handled, even under pressure. Cosmic's challenging, but it's not landing.
Link.
I check in with our helpful little double cam. And annoyingly, we're going to be losing the intervals now because of the lap differences. The map is going to be our guide for spacing as we go through.
Legal.
That is going to be one of the protos in clear headway. I believe that was Neiman. Where there's rain, there's thunder. Where there's Neiman, there's Darkser.
Live.
Through the traffic pretty effortlessly, I've got to say. Into second. But Pedrin is going to be pretty close there.
Pedrinho.
We're running it pretty hot.
Let's go, Pedrinho.
Breeze taking a bit of a wider line. You can see a massive chunk of the GTs heading in at the same time. There's Poproki, Grizzled, Raffaello, Campai, Sea Dwarf all going into the pits. Substantial chunk, and it looks like most of the GTs are filling up to about 40% fuel. Some going a little bit deeper.
É, a idade chega pra todos, né, velho?
Taking things
Toma.
a bit more aggressive early on.
Toma o dive.
I think there's merits to both approaches.
Let's go, Pedrinho. É, mesma punição pros dois aí.
Two of them are running very close to one another.
Sainz fora, hein, da corrida,
Check
hein.
in with a familiar face.
Piastri botando
Briefly.
quente aí.
Railgun currently on the defense. Grizzlyd's coming out the pits and
Norris
coming very close to
P3,
him.
Russell P2, Leclerc P4, Hamilton P5, Gasly P6, incrível.
Really is sniffing at the back end of that car. See a fight as well, Campai. He's going to get overtaken on the inside once again by Raffaello. It's a bit of a
4 voltas pra
repeat
acabar
of
aí.
history. Campai not taking the outside line, but ends up making contact with the rear bumper of that other C8. The Darks are now is going to be in the race lead, as Niemann is going to be in the pits. Docs are the last driver in the GTP category yet to take their first stop. Here's Raffaello and Campai going to be going for a bit of a challenge. Massive pit group as well. Aerolite, Horizon, Freitas, Bradders, Geekin. Cholin, I think, is going to be the new race leader after all of this. Will, I do believe, be Cholin. There you go. I think he's one of the last ones now to stay out from the pit. And then say battles simultaneously happening. A good challenge coming in from Campai to fight Raffaello off. Chrysalid and Railgun continue their squabbles. Contact continues to be made between the two C8s. But it's a drag race between Railgun and Chrysalid now as we head into lap.
Bonita a briga do Raffaello com o cara aqui, hein?
To be lap 12.
E o Noodle Daniel chegou no Pedrinho, velho.
Chrysalid has
E aí,
the
Gão?
apex though, headed into Village
Beleza.
Corner, and does get the better line. Interesting to see multiple perspectives as different cars from different battles converge together. Turn that one off.
Beleza.
Moment.
Só chilling, né? Sunday
You see
chilling.
Aerolite and Horizon continue to run super close
Sunday
together. I
chilling,
wonder if each
meu
other,
amigo. My friend.
whether they are going to continue to play nice, or eventually someone's going to get bored and start poking the
Mas
bear.
depois desceu o sabugo, hein? Depois é minha vez, velho. Depois eu tô aí na pista aí, onde é que eles estão eu vou estar. Depois deles.
We'll see how close they run. Meanwhile, Daniel is... Wait a second. Daniel's on second stop now. Cholin has finally headed in, which was expected. But Daniel's already
Por que o Daniel tá parando de novo?
second stop.
In Trigger we trust.
This
É
is
isso aí mesmo.
rather bizarre. If we check in with our pit counts, Darkser has not
Ainda vou
headed
calar a
at all
boca de
yet.
todo mundo que
He's gone for a
acreditou em mim. Quer
very
dizer,
deep early
vou
stint.
calar a boca de todo mundo
He's
que
already
desacreditou em mim. Velho.
gone for 14 laps, and he still has about,
Todo mundo que
I want
desacreditou.
to say, 25% fuel to his name. So he's certainly running a very different time. Oh no, my mistake. It's about 20%. So you got Godley going for his second. Daniel's headed for his second.
Pô, Joseph Trigger é
It's
muito...
unorthodox. It's certainly unorthodox.
É muito
as
máfia, né,
strategy
velho? É muito nome de Red Dead Redemption, né? Joseph Trigger.
goes. Him on the back of Ruiz.
Pô, eu não vou lá na vila lá que o Joseph Trigger manda lá na área.
Much further
Porra,
away, very
meu
quickly.
amigo. Nome de mafioso, velho. Tudo em inglês fica melhor, né, cara? Vamos combinar? Tudo em inglês fica melhor.
Oh no, Godley's actually headed in for his first stop. That's
É
my mistake.
tipo nome de
I thought
música,
that was his second with how
tá
deep
ligado?
into
Nome
the
de
stint it
música,
was.
sei lá.
No,
É,
it's actually
Counting
his first.
Stars. Pô, da hora, né? Em inglês, Counting Stars. Aí tu bota pra português,
We'll
contando
keep
as
an eye on things
estrelas.
from here as the race progresses.
É, e contando as
Doxa,
estrelas.
with that very,
Counting Stars é
very
muito mais
big
legal, velho.
opening stint. Means you get some
É igual o
time
José
back
Gatilho.
from
Porra,
scratching
José
matches
Gatilho, mano.
later.
Parece um Zé Mané aí,
still an unknown.
qualquer um, tá ligado?
to wait and see.
Ah, o Zé ali, ó, o Zé Gatilho aí, pô. Agora, Joseph Trigger, porra.
Check back in with
Joseph Trigger tem presença, velho.
TNR2, Aerolite and Horizon.
Joseph Trigger.
So
Eu vou
we
botar
do
Joseph
have
Trigger, tá?
these two
Ó,
reaching
Joseph
a bit
Trigger.
of an impasse, as it were. Meanwhile, a bit further away,
Em espanhol.
a familiar challenge resurfaces.
Em espanhol fica José Gatito.
Chrysalid.
José
Let's jump
Gatito,
aboard with
tá?
Chrysalid's
José
perspective.
Gatito.
Back on railgun, but sandwiched between themselves.
Em
and
checheno.
Campai there.
Não, checheno não dá pra ler. É desenho, não é
Does have
letra.
a few penalties which will
Em
be
desenho,
starting
né,
to
letra? Em
stack up
alemão.
at this point.
Em alemão, vai.
Other side of the equation.
Como é que é José em alemão?
Penalties will affect your session. Sholin and Bradders actually running very close. We're going to see those two challenge back and forth. Bradders trying to go for an angle, get a bit of an bit of a switchback, I should say more accurately.
José em alemão. É Rousseff. Em Rousseff. Gatilho é Katzen. Rousseff Katzen. Katzen. Katzen.
Kätzchen.
É, mais ou menos. Bosta. Em italiano. Pô, em italiano vai ser da hora. Giuseppe, né? Giuseppe. Giuseppe Gattino. Não, ficou ruim. Giuseppe Gattino é ruim.
Gattino.
Gattino. Giuseppe Gattino. Giuseppe Gattino. É, Anderson Dick, pois é, cara.
Railgun and Chrysalid continue to run close. Raffaello
Pois é,
and Campai, much the same.
Vai, a última. Em russo. Pô, russo. Russo é foda, hein? Ó, em russo fica chaussée. Tá, não sei ler essa porra aqui.
José Trigger.
Quê?
José Trigger. José Trigger.
Trigger também, velho?
José Trigger. José Trigger.
José Trigger.
José Trigger.
Prototypes well into lap 16 by this point.
Ah, e tem que ver em japonês também, né? Japonês.
José Trigger.
José Trigger. Pô, gostei, pô.
José Trigger.
José Trigger.
José Trigger. José Trigger.
Trigger.
José Trigger.
José Trigger.
José Trigger.
É.
When checking with
Fofinho.
Raffaello as he's drag racing with Campai. Campai managed to get a good switch back, but it looks like
Trigger.
Raffaello
Você
isn't let
Trigger.
that one sit.
Ui, toma ultrapassagem do Raffarello. Não. Pedrinho primeiro, hein? Chupa haters. Chupa haters.
Raffaello really does want to bring that fight.
Piastri
to Campai
P1,
here.
Russell em segundo, Norris em terceiro, Leclerc em quarto, Hamilton em quinto, Verstappen em sexto.
Doxa coming up in the chat as well. You can see I have a plan. Let's see if it works. Respect that commitment. Isn't that brief moment in the pits wisely, clearly. So here's the Dex car managing to get a really good section and opening up the gap quite substantially to Campai here. Doxa now coming out from his stop here and actually gone quite heavy on the fuel. I wonder how he's going to time his third and fourth pit stops. He's clearly running aggressive on the early ones. Or running long on the first two. Right now the lead is currently firmly held by Pedrin, but Cosmic a couple of seconds away. Ruiz Racer 4.5 behind that. Then followed by Niemann, Darkser and Daniel. 20 seconds, although Daniel has got another pit stop under his belt. So worth considering. Where Darkser has gone super long and only just taken his first, Daniel's already done his second. That's the other thing, folks. If you're a livery maker or a tuner, pop up in the chat. The unsung heroes of a lot of these competitions. We tend to focus a lot on the drivers. See Arkina coming up in the chat. Because it is true, that NWR paint is looking absolutely immaculate. Check in with our double cam. As once again, Campai and Raffaello are challenging each other.
Rapaziada, vou fazer um café e já volto aí. Pedrin, tem que ser Little Peter, velho. Little Peter.
Hanging low here in Silverstone. like a door has been closed. Checking with Seedorf. Seedorf running a couple of seconds away. It's crucial seconds. And Raffaello has dropped a bit of space. Cholin and Bradders continue to run close, but they have managed to calm things down, at least for a while. And then Aerolite and Horizon, well, they continue to hold 1 and 2 for GT in this split. And they're not going to let themselves be disturbed. They have a firm grip on things, and they are not letting it go. Railgun into the pits now. Then you have Pedrin, Cosmic, and Ruiz all headed in about the same time. So some drivers' pit stops have actually equalized. Darkser... Oh, okay. Darkser's actually gone in now. So he's got the fuel. And he's basically just ticking the pit stop off. He's just ticking it off so that he doesn't have to go again. He's done the strategy for a 3-stopper, but with a 4. Interesting. Interesting indeed. I have to see how that plays out once the intervals start to click in again. So right now they're just displaying zeros and not being very helpful. Throughout all of this, there has been a couple of cars that have just managed to make their own space in the track, like Freitas. Freitas is undisturbed. They've got their own space in the track. This is an ideal situation for them. Just run your own race. Don't worry about attacking or defending. Just run ideal lines. This is the place that you want to be in a lot of race scenarios. E-Man running, of course, much further away, but stop down compared to the others.
E aí, Pedrin? Ah, já parou 2, God. Pô, mas o Cosmic chegou, hein?
Darkser is on the tail.
O Cosmic chegou, velho.
2.5 seconds away from
Cósmico tá forte, cara. E aí, Sagatinho, tem swap de piloto? Não, mano. Esse é o Lobby B, é campeonato individual, né? Campeonato individual, não é endurance, por mais que seja 1h30, é 1h30 mais ou menos. 1h30, é campeonato individual, é um por carro, mano. Só que esse é o Lobby B, tá ligado? Tá acontecendo o split B, C, D, E e F agora. Quando acabar esse aqui, vai acontecer o split A, que é o principal aí, os melhores classificados do final de semana. Mesmo formato de corrida. Mesmo formato de corrida, certinho.
Looking like a keen attacker. Oh, contact being made as Bradders goes a little bit wide. Cholin dips into the grass himself.
Ele errou nos S?
Solid fighting between them. Newman now making his way through. It's going to make it 2 laps deficit now. Aerolite and Horizon continue their trend of
E o Cosmic chegou, hein? Pedrinho e Raffarello. Caralho, aí jogou, hein? Aí o Pedrinho jogou, viu?
Not the most entertaining.
Fala do Pedrinho, cara.
Raffarello is going to remain there, remain an obstacle. As there is Pedro, now Cosmic.
Fala do Pedrinho. Quem da Dex tá no ar?
Cosmic getting stuck behind.
Vou falar aí, então. Quem na Dex está no ar? Vamos
taking the racing line, but Cosmic I think went for a bit of a squeeze or a bit of a pocket.
Certo. Ó, na Dex temos Dex Code Caos em P1, largando em P1. Dex, isso na GTP, tá? Na Hyper. Os protótipos. Dex Code Caos largando em P1, Dex Sabino largando em P4, Dex Relamps largando em P6 e Dex Murilo largando em P8 na última posição do protótipo. Na classe GT, Dex MGZin largando em P1, Dex Quirino largando em P2, Dex Choralou largando em P3, Dex Kevin largando em P6, Dex Gatilho Joe em P12, largando em antepenúltimo aí no lobby da GT, no lobby A. Bastante Dex no lobby A aí, pô.
We'll check in with our two favorite GT fighters. Some of our favorites anyway, because we've actually had multiple up and down. Either way, it's going to be Cholin and Bradders once again. Briefly separated. But not for long. Cosmic on the inside. Using that aerodynamic grip. Make their way around both himself and Bradders before they get to Maggots and Beckett's.
Compraram o lobby.
Certainly pushing as the two cohorts.
Turma anda muito, velho. A turma anda muito bem, cara.
Don't want to waste any time getting stuck around them or behind them. That's just asking to lose you positions.
Com aquele queijo lá. God, o Airlide aí, ó, não precisava abrir, abriu pro Pedrinho, God demais.
Is Daniel Hot on to the push? Bradders has chosen now to go in, but Cholin's going to have that position uncontested. And I think that is a
Pedrinho a 10 segundos aí do cara que não parou ainda. Pedrinho tá bem, hein? Tá tirando do Cosmic.
Go for the easy space. Go for the easy space. Go for the pit stop early. That's what it affords you here. I'm going to quickly check in with one of the prototypes. This is going to be Daniel here. Has a real chance to make this one happen. And effortlessly making his way around the traffic. He could stand to gain some serious time on the likes of Ruiz. Needs to play his cards right, as a lot of the field has already spaced itself out substantially. Neiman is the only one in the prototypes yet to take their second. We're starting to see more and more of the GTs now take their second as well. Checking with a couple of other cars. We have Chrysler and Railgun running together, both taking their second and both now on to a fight for their spots. Put away our minicam 2. As they now just fully displaced most, if not all, of the traffic. So Neiman is now into the pit lane, meaning Pedrin is going to re-inherit the lead. Take back the lead of the race. Freitas also heads in the GT category. Cosmic's going to be a couple of seconds behind our leader. Gun on the challenge, headed into Vale and then Club. Nicely done there indeed. I kind of just took it back for a second.
Pô, Rafarello tá bem, pô. Já escalou bastante aí. Não sei como é que tá os pits dos caras atrás dele, mas parece que tá todo mundo aí com
move to the point where I don't even have anything to say. No notes. A-star. Bring up a teacher's notebook all I like, but that was textbook. Here we we go then.
E o Cosmic chegou no Pedrinho de novo, velho. Ih, Pedrinho fora da pista vai tomar. Vamos 0,20. 0,20 tá safe.
So it could stand to reason we might see an overtake sooner rather than later. Darkster's interval was completely broken, unfortunately, so he will be looking like he's completely in the shadow realm, although we know really it's just a few seconds. A lot of the GTs, Raffaello and Godley, it's close together, but most of them spread it out. Let's check in with Godley for the moment. See if he's challenging to the Dex car. So Raffaello's actually headed into the pits now, so he's going to completely circumvent that battle almost. No real challenge to be spoken of.
Raffaello parou no box na hora certa.
Checking back with a familiar face, here's Railgun. Here's Loden Poproki a little bit further away. Chance for potential position. Need to connect it all together. Well, the prototypes have actually converged a bit. So the 6 prototypes we have on file today. We have Cosmic within half a second to Pedrin. In fact, we will check in and see what's happening there.
Obrigado.
Smooth push. Aggressive run here. Could put him in the striking distance with a lead. Pedrin looks to have a really strong lock on this competition thus far. If we want to talk fastest times, fastest 45.6 from Cosmic with a 45.3 coming from Pedrin. See, really sort of backwards. Wait a second.
Meu Deus, Pedrinho caiu.
Look, he disconnects. Ouch. What do you even say to that, folks? What do you even say? Literally, as we check in on him, and as it looks like he is gearing up, that car sort of squats back to push forward. He disconnects. That is a brutal. No other way to put it. Geekin and Godley both headed in. Yeah, Pedrin is going to unfortunately take a DC, meaning that Cosmic has now earned. Well,
fechou, mano. Jogo bom.
He has dethroned
Foda,
Pedrin and taken the lead.
Foda. Ah, não, mano.
He's absolutely earned
Tá
it
bom,
still, because he was within a second.
Correndo pra pegar
a
aprendizado. Vou falar no trem que vocês, eu vou avisar os meninos, mas a pista nesse horário que eu tava correndo ali, o carro parou de curvar. O carro tá correndo.
Pô, ele tava na tua câmera na hora que tu caiu, velho. Tava te elogiando e tudo. Sapitron. Tava falando, porra, o Pedrinho tá andando bem até agora, muito bem. Continuar assim, vai pegar P1. O cara sentiu, coitado. Ele falou, puta merda, agora que eu tava na câmera dele, ele caiu. Isso é brutal, ele falou.
Deixa eu fechar a transmissão aqui. Falou quem tá na transmissão. Ó, Queiroz, Sabino, Code, ó. Pacifu.
É F Pedrinho, velho. É F no chat aí.
Agora eu vou sair de piloto pra assistir.
Piloto pra comentarista?
É, comentarista. Ixi, eu tô com a Deva. Esqueci de renovar tweets mesmo.
At the same time, Sholin doing the same. Freitas is going to be taking and holding on to the sort of little group lead, but it stands to reason he will also pit in at the same time. Tends to follow that pattern. He goes over 1 lap more, actually.
Que dó, Pedrinho. Tava indo bem, velho.
More.
Tava. Olha o Rafarelo, menino.
Horizon, Cholin.
Acontece
Now making it so that everyone has taken their
Acontece
second
frequente isso aí
stop.
ou não?
Não, é raro.
Pois é, tá
Muito
Xbox
raro,
ainda,
é
né, velho?
de 3 em
Current
3
field,
meses,
as it
é,
stands,
Xbox ainda.
prototypes,
De 3 em
Cosmic
3 meses acontece.
leads with Reese about 5 seconds away. Neiman is
Cara,
about 7,
a última vez
3.5
que
going
isso
between himself and
aconteceu
Doctor.
foi...
And then Daniel, the anomaly in all of this,
Nossa, faz tempo demais.
about 19.5 seconds away.
Casar, velho.
É porque o jogo
his
ficou
third
surpreso de eu estar em P1 e falou, não é possível.
But at the same time as well, the
Eu acho que foi isso mesmo, tá?
times are all over the place. I'm looking quickly here at the fastest
Eu acho que
time.
os envios de dados ali pro servidor falaram, não, tá errado isso aqui, vamos tirar ele do server porque...
So the peak pace is absolutely there from the ZR car. It just does not seem
Tá
to be
bugado.
linking up consistently at least. That fastest lap was just last lap ago, so
Ó, o
Pô,
Cook
velho,
mandou.
tu viu
Might be a sign
e
that
quando o
he's locking
ZR
in with
morreu?
Vi.
check in
Ah,
on
porra, mano,
Cholin and
depois eu
Brothers.
quero ver
As
no meu
these
tweet.
two
Mano,
have
o
been
bicho
reunited
voou
now,
pra
coming out of
longe.
the pit stop.
O Cook mandou aqui no chat, ó. Mesmo assim, Pedrinho, você é o número 1 do meu coração.
E ele é o número 1 também na minha vida.
Reunited here.
Esse lindo.
Aí, ó. Declarações amorosas de ambas as partes aí.
Bacana,
Find out
corrida.
who really should
O
stand to be
Rafarelo
on
tá
top
indo.
as the session continues. We're about halfway through the
Antepenúltimo.
split 2 session here, folks. Of course, you want to catch some action at the sharp end too.
Eu vou falar, não tem que ser a
Also
estratégia
do
que o
have
COD
split
fez
one,
pra
which
mim,
becomes
deu
straight after
ferrado,
this. We
porque
will have a
toda volta que eu
technical
parei
break,
eu peguei GT.
both to run
Eu peguei GT
commercials
pra parar e na hora que eu saí,
or
depois
run
eu parava.
ads in the hopes of them not touching the stream.
Será que os caras estavam mais lentos do que o COD previu, será?
To allow for me to
É,
restart the
eu acho que é
game,
mais lento.
fix any back-end
Porque, tipo
issues.
assim,
Talvez
quando eu
aquela...
parei, depois que eu voltei, os caras
Make sure
estavam lá
that
ainda.
we are
Era
in
pros caras
good
terem parado
standing
já.
to get this next one underway.
É, cada
Reese
vai
and
com uma
Cosmic
estratégia
both
também, né,
headed
cara?
into
É
the
foda.
pits now, meaning Neiman
Não tem como saber
is going to inherit the lead, and he's
se
going
o cara
to
vai
be
esticar
staying out
mais, se o cara vai
alongside
esticar
Darkseid.
menos.
So these two will have made up some time.
Eita, pegou grama.
A bit of an off-track
Eu
excursion though.
vou...
Caralho, o Rafael tá com 4.7 segundos de punição, velho. Agora que eu vi.
Quem tá em
Lots
P1
of dirt
agora?
and sand being kicked up
Neiman?
there.
Niman, é. Mas acho que tá com um pit a menos o
Não,
Niman.
Nima.
Eu acho que é o Cosmic,
de novo.
velho.
The GTs have to offer,
É o
and a bit
Cosmic
lower
P1.
down we
Eu
have
acho que
Campine
o
Godly.
Cosmo, ou o Cosmo ou
Running real
o
close.
Ive, se ele parar de morrer. Se ele parar de morrer, acho que ele vai.
Question is, who's going to
Ele
keep their
tá
cool the
rápido.
longest? It
Ele
is
tá mais
getting
rápido
a
que
little
eu,
bit deeper
só
into the
que ele tá
sunset
conseguindo
here
ser constante.
at Silverstone. As he pokes the nose alongside,
Então tu tá mais
trying to
rápido.
get a challenge down on Godly.
É, eu tô mantendo feeling.
Really tucks
Que tá meio
right
difícil
in there as
também.
they both head through Cop's corner.
Deixa eu descer ali no código.
Let's go a bit
Você tá assistindo
narrower in the
Fórmula 1?
hopes
Tem Fórmula 1
of
ali?
Não, acabou.
Staging an overtake, but
Oh.
not through this section. Maggots, Beckett's Chapel, not the place to go for it. Set yourself up, get a good exit onto the hangar straight. That's what you want to do here. Hopefully, he has done that. Looks like they both came out about the same, if not Godly actually getting a little bit further, thanks to the slipstream from Pop Roki up ahead. Jumps on the brakes a little bit earlier. 3 C8s all closely packed here. Here goes Neiman into the pits. So dodges the traffic issue by heading in now. It's also going to be Darkser throwing himself in. Where is he going to come out though? Cosmic and Reese, of course, will overtake. Will Daniel be in that same conversation? Oh, looks like a bit of argy-bargy between the two there. Contact being made. And Godly, I'm sure, not being happy at all, because now they are under threat from Raffaello in the same breath. go. Looks like Daniel's actually going to be out up ahead. If by a couple of seconds at best, Daniel is going to be ahead of Niemann and Darkser as they go through to that third pit stop. And now everyone on Protos has gone in 3 times, meaning only one more, and their pit quota will be satisfied. .45.7 from Daniel there, so good pace on the overall. Big wobbles there for Daniel, though. His head through Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel. Gotta keep it together, man. You gotta keep it together. Let's check in with Godley. As he's bearing witness to quite the challenge, he's got himself and Sea Dwarfs actually there as well. Raffaello managed to get it out through Stowe. Managed to impress on him with the challenge. As we now head into lap 27. Railgun is going to be going in for his, I think that's 3rd stop. Ahead of all the other GTs. Time will be the great benefactor to see which one is optimal. Radders and Cholin still very close together. Let's see how the BMW in this fight is handling it all. Radders being hot on the heels of Freitas at one point, but now there's a substantial gap. Oh, there goes Cosmic. Big dive through the inside. Had me being nervous for a moment there. Sea Dwarf and Raffaello. Oh, looks like there has been an issue at the sharp end. Contact being made. And looks like Godley is having a torrid time. I'm going to see if we can get some little clips and insights as always. Try and get a bit of a read of exactly what's happening, but Raffaello actually ended up going off of track. We'll, of course, put that on the little picture-in-picture cam too. Radders and Kampai headed into the pits too. Trying to put it all together right now. Okay, here we go. We've got our clip. Let's see. So this is what happened to Godley just moments ago. So headed in to Cop's corner. Goes for the racing line. Big hit on the rear. I think that's from Niemann. And that's what resulted in him going down into 5th place. Gets overtaken by Sea Dwarf, but then contact made with him. And a lot of back and forth with the cars further back. I mean, in terms of that later sort of altercation, you decide, folks. You decide where you land on the line with that one. We're going to quickly jump it back to real time, and wow, what a sunset. What a skybox. The replay cams don't really do it justice with the skybox here, but you see on Kampai's view. Wowee, that is something. I'm a sucker for a sunset, I gotta admit. Challenge continues. Niemann on the back of Darkser following that altercation with Godley. Trying to regain a bit of composure and a bit of time. 45.883 is this time that stands. Now that can be pushed down further. We'll find out. There's Freitas. as a rolling roadblock. Both of them pushing as hard as they can. Darkser with a rough first corner. Hasn't given the perfect opportunity. E-Man is going to make quick work and is going to make themselves quite comfortable getting around Aerolite there. Horizon's actually dropped off by a large margin. We have Geekin and Cholin running together, but Brad has taken a stop earlier. It has also changed things. It has changed the dynamic somewhat of this session and how it's playing out. Let's taking a look on our pit counts. Bradders leads the cohort of 3 stoppers. Cosmic, Reese, Daniel, Neiman, Darkser is your genuine order because all of them have taken 3 stops in the prototypes, and then a fairly consistent story. We'll check in on Chrysalid as him and Railgun have been duking it out for a significant chunk of time by this point. See what they have to offer for us. Also taking a look at penalties, what it's worth. Highest penalty count is going to go to Cosmic, 2.5 seconds in the prototypes, and then 4.7 seconds for Raffaello, with Kampai taking 3. 2.7 and 2.6 goes to Godly and Poproki. But I assume, at least with Godly, a couple of tenths of that is going to be taken off, just owing to the fact that I did see at least one of his incidents. He has got that time added on while getting himself into trouble with another car. I'm going to see if Darkser as well can post a challenge to Neiman here, as there's 3.5 tenths between them, and as they head into the Wellington Straight, there could be a fight on his hands. Darkser goes narrower on the attack. Tries to get Neiman into a position where he can switch it. Balancing on the edge of the throttle there. Neiman with a bit of a better exit. Pops up a bit of gravel at the same time. Still got to be careful of your on-track traffic. Got to be super careful. Luckily, the prototypes have got themselves a bit of space. They don't have any GTs to worry about. Does not mean, however, that they're in the clear. Still recovering, so apologies, folks. Quality showing from these two thus far. Darkser is closing in some time, but makes a quick contact with the rear quarter of Neiman, and we're coming up to the section that Darkser has the most trouble with, and that's going to be turn 1 and 2. Continually has trouble with this section of the track. Doesn't grip up in the same way. But looks like he's handled it cleanly. Handled it nice and cleanly. Freitas and Poproki now into the pits, meaning that there will be a little bit more of a shake-up. Here's Raffaello going into the pits as Bradders was very close to challenging on their rear. Big set of GT cars. Poproki, Godly, Dwarf, Raffaello all going in. This can prove a shake-up in the order. Does also likely mean that the other GTs are going to go in, and Geekin taking on a suboptimal line. That is slightly suboptimal, if I had to say anything. But yeah, just pushing out way too hard on the exit, going into the Wellington Straight. It's going to cost him dearly, unfortunately. So Kampai manages to get past to Poproki, coming out of the pit lane. And positions are being diced back up between cars again. Okay, Darkser is going to go in for his final stop. Hopefully looking to undercut his competition in that of Neiman. Daniel's actually stayed quite long out on his third stint. He's not gone early like we have got accustomed to him doing. Oh, we do have official read from Darkser. He actually run out of fuel. So he's pumped another, what looks like 60% in the tank. There you go, 60%. In order to make it home. Darkser running out of fuel, having to take an emergency strategy option. Bit of a rough innings there. A lot of cars actually haven't spread out by this point. No major fights. Godley and Cedarwolf. We'll check in on these two, just seeing as we currently have fights in the bottom, but also pitching up towards the top. Ruiz and Cosmic within half a second. Let's check in with them. There's Ruiz closing in hot. In terms of penalties, Ruiz does have 1.4 seconds more than Cosmic here, so between now and previous check, Ruiz has managed to stack up a couple of extra seconds. This is going to play against him as we head into this next final phase of the racing. We do have a black screen. That's usually a bad sign. That's going to be Geekin in the Porsche. He's going to disconnect from the session as well. So we've lost one prototype, one GT car, unfortunately.
F, mais caiu, velho.
Not going to be a good run for him there. Sad to see. So close to the end too. He had just about 10 laps left. Or about 14, really. Sakampai just got hit with 1.1 more seconds of penalty time. As Cholin now heads into the pits. That's going to be his third stop, meaning that it's just Aerolite and Horizon yet to take their third. Darkser having taken all of his, but of course that was an emergency. And now Ruiz is 0.2 of a second away from Cosmic now. It's that last phase of the session, folks. That crucial final element. It's all about bringing it together now. They've had enough of a fight towards the sharp end. Now it's time to really bring that fight home. Bit of contact on the rear quarter as Cosmic is going to be on the defense. He's also stuck in traffic, and this is going to be a dicey maneuver coming through. Ruiz is hot on the heels of the Noodle car. Let's see, side by side, heads into Aintree from the loop. Grizzlyd's going to prove to be a bit of a roadblock. Cosmic has a better run. Does manage to take a bit more exit speed, but Ruiz is not going to give up just yet. Sticks to the inside and sticks to the behind. Goes and briefly pokes it on the apex. Coming out into Brooklands, now to Luffield. Railgun goes to the outside. Lets those GTPs bite. Bit of a squeeze on the exit though for Ruiz. Has to modulate his throttle. Barely stays within contention with Cosmic there. Now into Cop's Corner as we head deeper into the night here at Silverstone. Bit of an extension. Barely keeping it within track limits. Good section here from the both of them, but Cosmic having a bit more of a speed loss on the exit. Cosmic remains hard right. as he knows Ruiz is going to go side by side with him into this next section. On the outside, head through into Stowe corner. Contacts being made between the two. A little bit of a wider arc. They both head into the pits this lap. Cutting across the grass. Ruiz is going to race him across the grass. Very aggressive running right to the bitter end there for the two of them. Quality challenge. Start to finish. Niemann now heads into the pits. Daniel is, I believe, already done with his pit stop. Yes, he is. So he is going to be about... Well, that's not 26 seconds. Come on, game. That is not 26 seconds there. That's probably more like 5 seconds. Either way, all of the prototypes have now pit in for the last time. This is a straight shot to the finish, folks. No more ups and downs. No more wispiness in regards to who actually has the intervals, the times, and the positions. Niemann is going to be demoted down behind Daniel. Cosmic Ruiz are going to be staying further out ahead. Sholin and Bradders once again fighting. We'll stick with them for now. I've got to say, these two, they have really pushed each other to the limit. I've loved the battle between these two cars in particular. I know that we've had battles up and down, we've had battles in the prototypes, but as well as that and the fight nearly like down the bottom, Kampai and a couple of other cars he's fought with, these two have run so close for so long. Like, I have to tip my cap to them. The pressure they're putting each other under, second to none. Although, not to be outdone here, let's check in with the top. We can see Ruiz and Cosmic now drag racing once again into Stowe corner. They're going to come up to a bit of traffic. There's Pop Roki. Oh, it's a complete roadblock coming in from the GTs there. Ruiz gets completely boxed in. In fact, contact's being made with, I believe that is Kampai there. Yes, it is. So they come out from Club, and it's going to be a quick sweep. Once again, the traffic proving an integral factor in this fight between the two prototypes. There's going to be Ruiz briefly stuck behind another GT car. This time, Chrysalis. That's another couple of tenths knocked off his time. This is exactly what I mean. By all means, Ruiz probably has the pace to get past and alongside Cosmic more consistently. But the traffic, it's the traffic management, the placement of your car. That's his Achilles heel right now, and that's what's really biting him in the behind. You can argue the same for Cosmic. He did lose some time just there to railgun, as we could see, but Ruiz is the one that's in the more difficult position. That's the one that is struggling more, and he's even starting to feel that pressure. You just saw that wobble coming out of Luffield. Now, it's Gop's corner. Keeping it nice and gripped up. Still barely within track limits. There's Aerolide on horizon.
Bora aquecer, tá de boa, velho.
Is for their third stop. Yes, it is. So their third stop there. E-Man within half a second of Darkser as well. So we'll get ready in case that they are having a bit of a spat. The two TNR cars remaining completely static. Cosmic going for an interesting run. He goes to the outside. He leaves the door open. Goal contact. Big slide.
Eita.
Cosmic holds it together, however, and he does hold on to the P1. That was a nail biter of a moment there, but now the gloves are off. The teeth are bared. You can see Cosmic not happy with that move. He remains stuck to the left side of Ruiz throughout that entire final section. Contact once again being made. Cosmic barely keeping it out of the gravel. Ruiz, yes, does have the position, but is not left Cosmic a happy bunny. And now the roles are well and truly reversed. Cosmic is the one who is on the hunt and is getting to be a bit stuck through traffic. Ruiz is going to be on his right side as they both head out into the Wellington straight. Now coming through here, contacts being made as they go through entry. Now, good move there from Cosmic as he's able to stick it onto the left and he's able to quickly make his way through GT3 traffic. He's not going to take this one lying down after that contact being made, especially. And that is Ruiz still in second, still fighting. But that is a Raffaello. That is going to be our third disconnection of the session. Our third disconnection of the session there. Ruiz is hot on the heels still.
Tomar no cu, cara.
They're going to go side by side into Magnus Beckers. That's not a good place to go for an attack, my friend. You do not want to fight through this section. You want to set yourself up for the hangar straight.
Meu amigo, velho.
Of course, before we continue, it is worth noting that when it comes to actual contacts race incidents, that's for the stewards to settle. We can make our judgments here in the moment, but stewards are the ultimate decider of who is more at fault. If anyone, sometimes there can be just racing incidents. So we are Cosmic, Ruiz. They're going to once again go in. Oh, big wobble there for Ruiz, and he just goes a little bit too sharp on the inside and briefly loses the rear. Cosmic is going to hold on to P1.
Duro.
Really pushing that prototype right to the ragged edge. Bradders and Railgun now head in for the final time. I've got to say, immaculate battling between these two so far. It has been a brilliant showing. Throughout this session, they have certainly been the highlight of the prototypes.
Começar a aquecer, né? Tá quase na hora.
Change as the hitters do rejoin the track surface. We are going to turn on the picture-in-picture for as he is challenging on Pop Roki, and we want to be able to capture that. Ruiz remains firmly in the slipstream of Cosmic. Now
banheiro, fazer xixizão.
So about 5 laps remaining in Split 2. Crazy. These are still top flight race cars, both groups, but in the same breath, it's scary how different the pace looks and how pedestrian those GTs look in particular. Now, once again, second verse, same as the first. Cosmic and Ruiz goes together, heading out of Stowe into Vale. Ruiz actually gets a pretty nice move done there. Now into Club, but Cosmic has the apex. Just a little bit of a wider slide there. Ruiz has taken the lead. Will he hold it? Let's see and find out. So he comes through. Cosmic once more. 3/10 of a second. Oh, a bit too deep on the brakes there, and I think he does yield back to compensate. Yeah, it does yield back a bit of time to almost self-RC for that one. We do have a couple more GTs, so Kampai is into the pit lane. 3/10 of a second between our two prototype leaders. The Aerolite and Horizon have separated themselves out fully. Freitas is fairly firm in his P3, but Cholin is going to still be a threat they'll have to keep an eye out for. We do have a Railgun much further away along with Bradders, but if we look at the pit counts as well, only 3 cars in the GT category have fully taken their required pit stops. So certainly in the GTs, that is set to change, and change in a big way. Railgun is going to overtake Kampai coming out of the pits. We'll see how this plays out. Cosmic about a second away. So he has consistently lost time to Ruiz.
Tem camp hoje? Tem. Tava tendo aqui agora, né? Só que os 2 carros da Dex caíram aqui no Lobby B. E agora temos o Lobby A. Vamos jogar o Lobby A.
So the Zephyrus Racing
jogar o Lobby A.
car is now in P1.
Consegui me classificar no Lobby A, vamos jogar o Lobby A. Etapa passada me classifiquei no Lobby B, corri o Lobby B e transmiti o Lobby A. Hoje é diferente, transmiti o Lobby B e vou correr o Lobby A.
This is a bit of a different dynamic. We don't have the true lap count for the GTs, unfortunately. I wish it switched when you went onto that respective car's view, but can't win them all. Yeah, because they're brilliant racing between these top two prototypes, but now Cosmic has, I think, fallen off the bandwagon. 1.5 seconds already. Just in the time it's taken for us to switch away.
Eu vou com esse macacão aqui, ó, pra combinar com o carro, Flamengo, vermelho e preto.
Checking with Dwarf and Godley. So Godley's going to head into the pits, but did briefly get an overtake on Dwarf.
Já viste o carro, Barbudo? O carro que eu tô usando aí nesse Race Heaven, esse aí tu vai gostar. Esse aí tu vai gostar, olha aí. Flamengo, né, velho? Mengão. Olha que coisa mais linda, velho. Olha que coisa mais linda, cara. Olha.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we came out at the bottom. Unfortunately.
Tá meio escuro, né?
The time is of the essence here.
É aqueles carros dos últimos vídeos do YouTube? Não. É GT, mano. Protótipo GT.
These two are running pretty close contention. I think a valid point is made there, and it speaks to the challenge that is the prototypes, the additional challenge. Yes, you are faster cars, but faster cars typically means stiffer competition. Stiffer competition in a multi-class means you're going to also deal with the traffic management. Now, I think it's pretty clear that Ruiz is one of the fastest.
Era pra eu estar usando a camisa do Flamengo, na verdade, né? Será que eu vou lá trocar?
However, I think one of his weaknesses, as was shown
Será que eu vou lá
today,
trocar?
is that traffic management. Now, there's sometimes impossible situations. Like, we saw plenty of moments where Ruiz just had nowhere to go.
Não.
But that is still a factor of racing in these faster groups. You're having to deal with those other scenarios on the track. You're having to deal with those slower cars and making sure you are placed to get round them. Read their positions like you would a normal opponent. You see Freitas, Chole and Chrysalid all heading in for their pit stop, so this will be their equalizing moment. And then checking in with the penalties as well, we can see there is another issue. Ruiz and Cosmic. So Cosmic just got 0.2 of a second added, but that's still 1.8 difference between them. Now, if Ruiz is ahead and is by more than 2 seconds, it's cleared. He is absolutely cleared. But as the penalties currently stand, Cosmic will still take the position back on penalties. So this is going to be something in the back of Ruiz's mind that he's no doubt having to deal with. Same goes for Neiman. He could catch up to the back of Darkser, but by all means won't actually gain the position until he beats him by at least 2.5 seconds. This is almost the mental mind games, and crazily, the only driver who has kept it completely clean is Railgun. So Railgun stands to gain from all of this. Just keep the nose clean and he'll get Chrysalid by default. Now the gapping is a little bit more significant at that, to be clear, but it's still something that could bat in his favour come judgment time. Right now Cosmic is teetering on that edge as we are on the penultimate lap. Ruiz is going to have to put down the next 2 races, or next 2 laps of his life, if he wants to secure that P1, because those penalty deficits are not going to solve themselves. 2 seconds. He's going to have a bit of a problem, though, coming up as we go through in Chapel and into the hangar straight.
Ó, Ruiz Racer vai ganhar, hein?
He's going to come up with some
Fala
GT
dele.
traffic. This could be his big problem or his big moment. He's got to play this perfectly. Oh, looks like here we go into... That's going to be Vale and then Club. A little bit of contact made with Godly. Bit of a rearward kick. Oh, looks like there's a challenge made. And looks like Cosmic has had his own issue. It looks like it went straight into the back of Godly. Barely keeps it out of the gravel there. So I think both cars had a bit of a torrid time. Ruiz makes quick work of some of the GTs, but he's not out of the clear yet. Here we go. He comes through into the Wellington straight and coming up to the back very sharply of multiple GT cars through Brooklands and Luffields. Can use the arrows to get a bit more grip. There's a bit of a kick there, Kampai. Goes a bit for a wider arc. Poproki squeeze right to the edge, but it's not going to stop him. 1.5 seconds. Cosmic is there. Had a bit of an easier time with the traffic, it looks like. Now through Cop's corner. That's going to be Railgun displaced. Now Maggots Beckett's Chapel. Chrysalid in the way. Oh, he's gonna... Oh no, he's got a little bit stuck.
Nossa, velho.
Hasn't really got that place to go.
Caramba, pior lugar.
No, we wanted Cosmic. How has Cosmic handled it? He's managed to pull himself back into the second.
As punições, olha as punições.
So Ruiz has done absolutely brilliantly. He's done valiantly.
Olha as punições,
driven
cara.
Hard, driven well. Of course, penalties could be appealed in post. We'll have to see how the stewards handle this one. But as it stands, on track at least, you have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be Ruiz Racer on track. And then post pens, it is going to be Noodle Cosmic. You can see that 1.8 deficit just
4.5 de...
It was very close.
4.5 de punição, quem ganhou foi o Cosmic ainda. Pedrinho caiu o Rafarello, caiu o Pedrinho, os dois carros da Dex caíram aí nesse lobby.
Now eyes turn back to our GTs as we are on lap 42 of running. Charlin and Freitas continue to run close. A great running for the prototypes. Very good show. So Freitas having a bit of a struggle here. He's getting challenged by Cholin, and Cholin holds lead. Audi trying to tuck in as much as he can. He knows he can't really go for the attack here. But that is ghosted, keep in mind. It may look solid to us, but that is in fact ghosted. Aerolide and Horizon going for their stops.
Entendi.
So remember, lap 42 for these guys. So we check in with our
diz o Rafarello que foi problema com o controle, então ele quitou, né? Por causa do controle. Não caiu, não.
So don't worry, if it looks
O
like
Pedrinho caiu.
Got the consistency of rubber balls.
Pedrinho
That's
caiu.
because they are ghosted to the drivers, just not to us. Looks very weird. I wish they would fix that. I really do wish they would fix that. Here we go, lap 43 anyway. Aerolide and Horizon. Now, the TNR cars have been pretty undisputed throughout all of this. Start to finish, they haven't really been touched. And that is immensely impressive in its own right. Like, you don't just come in and you have that strong of a showing without the work and the practice to go alongside it. Immaculate stuff. Absolutely immaculate.
Temos que ver, né, se o Kevin termina a corrida hoje.
Anywho, the Aerolite there, Horizon. Also, Radders in
Chamaram
third
pro lobby
and in
aqui,
his
hein?
own pocket of the course. He's really shown his stuff. Sholin as well. With
Deixa eu mudar o
Freitas
título.
continuing to run close. Chrysalid and Railgun are another two we will be watching out for. But drivers have 7 minutes to finish. The race end timer has deployed, so that may be a stressor in the back of minds of some. Everyone will make it if they keep their current pace, to be clear. But the last thing you want is a timer hanging over your head. I'd certainly be stressed out in that situation.
Caindo no grupo 3
So
direto.
now we see more non-Euclidean shenanigans underway. As the prototypes now will be slowing down and their AI will be stopping on the track, as you can see here with a certain Darkser. Oh, saying that Railgun is going to challenge alongside Chrysalid. Battle for P6 here. A spicy battle about to get underway in for. See, Daniel has stopped out on track. Brace is going to do the same, but yeah, here we go. This is arguably the best part about these multi-class races. What? You sort of phase through and go under. Titan, if you ever watch any of these broadcasts in post, you already know what I'm going to say. Spectator mode gets triaged or reaves it. I implore you to review how we view multi-classes. Heck, I'll sit down and make notes for absolutely everything if you want. Anything to make a mode that we can use to its fullest. Lap 44 now. Railgun still hunting back of Chrysalid. Freitas and Sholin have separated themselves out by this point. There's about a second between the two. Last couple of laps coming in from the GTs. Now a reminder, folks, we do have Split 2, of course, coming to an end, but Split 1 is on the horizon. So we will be taking a short technical break to restart the game to allow everything to be set up. But after that, we will be here once again for some Split 1 goodness after that short break. We will also be running a couple of ads in the hopes of getting a clean viewing experience. But we cannot guarantee it because of Twitch. So if you want the best guarantee, of course, and thank you to the 11 people who already are, but consider subscribing, because the financial side of it is that any money that goes into Racing Haven automatically gets put into things like, for example, getting maybe emotes designed. We're looking at that in the future, as well as pumping things like prize pools and resources for our teams.
So you're expecting 22
to run things the best that we can. Hopefully that didn't come through, but there was an invite to come in for
E gatilho, mais pódio, mais pipoquei, por mandar o popcornai, P2 mané, pipoquei, meu pesita avô rivel, mas é isso, mais pódio.
God. Perdeu pra quem?
It has been brilliant to have you all in the chat as well. I know we've had a lot of support for certain drivers here in Split 2. I wanted to thank you first and foremost for coming in. But here we are. Aerolide now
Perdeu por
starting
quanto?
the final
Quantos
lap,
segundos?
and causing a bit of havoc with the local BMWs while he's at it.
Ah, 3 segundos tá safe.
Railgun and Chrysalid. They continue their challenge against each other.
3 segundos é o que perde ali com os proto às vezes.
Just missing
Now everyone's getting right to the end of their fuel,
Otávio
of their
and
stint, of their
someone
race.
is like
carried.
Time to fly those flags one more time.
oh, carried is in.
Is he?
And then we will see our full
yeah.
results panel.
Have
Exactly who came out on top.
Pipes needs a group change from what I see.
We'll also be able to see the final penalty ticks and
It's
who
EBT 6.
had how many penalties. Railgun continues to get the clean award.
Yeah, so then just
With
Otavio
nothing to
and
his
then
name.
Gaster. I've thrown Sappy in a
Biggest
bit.
penalty count is going to go to Kampai, 5.7 seconds. And Poproki in a close second with 5.4. 4.8 is going to go to Neiman. 5 seconds. I just missed that actually. 5 seconds to Freitas. And then 4.7 with Godley. And 4.5 with Ruiz.
Popcorn, né?
Fortunately,
Popcorn.
that was the difference between him taking E1 on the track versus having to hand it back to Cosmic. But here we go. Final couple of corners and final lap. Here as Aerolide is going to take this one. And it takes it across the line in a strong fashion here. Horizon is going to be not far behind in second. With Baradas coming through to take the third. Gonna have Cholin, Freitas, Chrysalid, Railgun, Poproki. Oh, and others actually DNFing. So they actually hit the final 10-minute timer.
6 is in the VC.
Wow.
I've invited him though.
Didn't think it would happen like that.
6 is in,
He's in
but
now.
Otavio is
Yeah.
in.
It's just Otavio now, yeah. How long are we waiting then for that?
There we go.
I don't know, I pinged him twice already, I guess. So 3 more minutes. 3 or 2.
Não sei.
Oh man.
Boa sorte, Gagá. Pra cima, sem pipocar igual eu.
Sem pipocar, rapaz, eu sou pelotão lá atrás, velho. Eu sou pelotão lá atrás, mano.
And there's only 3 people behind Otavio, so it should be easy to work around that.
Eu sou pelotão lá atrás, mano. Quando podemos sair dessa call, não sei.
I guess he's not coming, so we might as well call Sappy if he's ready.
Yeah, he's restarting his game.
Pipes is still in the wrong player group.
Sort that out, please.
Oh, this race is gonna suck.
It'll be fine.
My car feels like it's on cement blocks, bro. Can't imagine what this car was like at Sebring.
Bora, DG.
It's quite enjoyable.
Ô, amor, tá abrindo a
Ow,
janela.
it doesn't fucking turn.
Em nenhum lugar da casa. Não.
There he is. Right.
I have 9.8 roll center. It's fucking not turning. I can even take aero off and it still doesn't turn. It just fucking has no traction if I take aero off.
Depois acende a luz aqui.
Oh.
Só quando escurecer. O Otávio tá aqui, senão acho que eu vou ter que trocar a posição com ele, né? Ele não tá aqui não. Então eu vou pra direita.
So everyone check their fuel and tires. We're gonna get this thing started.
They're probably wrong, knowing this game.
Oh yeah, we'll have to check for collisions and whatever is alright. So we're just waiting for Caster.
That we are good to go.
He's already in.
So yeah, it's just on the intermission. Okay. Right. So yeah, I'm gonna call out the grid. Everyone's to just drive in formation, 60 mile an hour. And we'll begin racing when the leader crosses the start-finish line. There's to be a 1 second gap between the classes. So from the last place Pro O to first place GT, there needs to be a 1 second gap. I'm not missing anything, I don't think. It's quite a simple procedure. So you just tag a buddy when you're in your formation lap as well, just to make sure you ain't got the collision bug. Okay, so for the first three will be COD Chaos, myself, and Karts. Is our Porsche car. So again, Chaos green carts. Then it goes Sabino, Europa, relamps. Legacy, and then Murillo. And then in GTs it goes MJezen, Corino, Charlo, Carried, Zoom, Kevin, Pipes, 6, Stindu, Ardno, Octavio, Galino, Skiddy, and Danny.
Galino. Galino é bom, velho.
You can drive in single file just for now. So again, to call out protos, COD Chaos, myself, Carts, Sabino, Europa, Relamps,
Bora!
Legacy, Gorilla. Sabino, you are behind Carts. I don't know why you're ahead of me.
Boa sorte, gatinho. Opa, Galino.
X number 1, that's why.
Damn right.
I'm gonna break the system here.
X number 1. About to be a penalty, formation lap infringement.
Didn't think it was that difficult to listen.
Tem alguém da Dex fazendo merda aí, hein? Tem que avisar aí, pô. Eu acho que é o
Scott's
Sabino.
on the wrong side, isn't he?
Eu acho que é o
Sabino.
Sabino.
Now, we'll double up in a bit.
Eu acho que é o Sabino aí. Ele é atrás,
So
ele
we'll
é atrás
start
do
doubling
Grimpo.
up. Odds on the right, evens on the left in your respective class. So MGS will also start on the right hand side. Follow that pattern soon. Bring it down to 60 cocktails. So again, when the leader crosses the finish line, everyone is to begin racing in your class.
O dedo tá frio ainda.
Foco e bora pra cima.
Bora. P1 da GT já tá longe já. Tô errando aqui, tô com medo de tomar punição. Nossa, BMW no vácuo, como puxa, velho. Olha. Deixei cortar, velho. Errei. Duro, cara. Errar é foda. Esse lobby aqui errou, é punido, velho.
Aproveita o vácuo da BMW, como o Pedrinho.
É, treinei pra ficar no vácuo. Foda, né, velho? Ó a BMW, cara. Esse carro no vácuo é imoral, velho. Isso que eu fiz bem aqueles setores lá, mano. Os caras estacionou agora. O cara tá estacionando, mano. Olha o gap, cara. Depois que esse cara começou a me atacar, perdi tudo, velho. Gente boa esse cara da Noodle aqui. Normalmente o cara dá um toquezinho ali pra avacalhar. Caramba. Errei legal. É, não, eu no vácuo dele eu não consigo abrir do jeito que a BMW abre o C8, mano. No vácuo é muito triste.
Bro, what the fuck is this? Bro, it's impossible to drive. Ciao boys, I'm doing 149.0.
protos estão chegando, velho. Os protos estão chegando legal. Fui gente boa, hein? Fui gente boa. Ui, quase que eu cortei. Se eu corto aqui é 1 segundo. Ui. Ah, não trocou de marcha. Merda, não trocou de marcha, velho.
My car is broken.
Mais um proto vindo aí.
Doesn't stop sliding with high fuel and it fucking doesn't turn with low fuel.
Combustível.
É. Ah, errei aqui, legal, velho. Vou parar agora. Nossa, velho. Mano. Que isso, cara? Olha esse cara, mano. Caralho, teve um ali que cortou tudo, certeza, cara. Teve um ali que cortou tudo, com certeza, mano. Ai, ai. Alô. Ai, 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 ai. Alô. Consegui entrar aqui agora.
Pronto.
Carlos entrou.
Ô, Sabino. Não, Sabino não tá me ouvindo.
Matei uns 2 GT, velho.
O que deu ali, ô Murilo?
Deixa eu passar aqui na reta, ô perigo.
Não.
Calma aí, guys. Calma aí.
Esse pessoal.
Vem pra cá, né?
Estratégia não deu boa não. O kart sumiu na minha frente.
Roseu Murilo ativou a Dreams Line. O que você vai fazer? TBM cortar tudo.
Perdão. Puta merda. Achei que não ia pegar.
parou ainda. Parou agora.
Bora.
Boa, guys, boa.
Não, não ia.
Não, não. Correndo.
Fecha, fecha. Bora.
Na grade. Não, censura.
Eu vou. Acho que. Aqui eu acho, eu achei que não ia tomar. Mas eu não queria que tu perdesse posição.
Relaxa. E tá pesado, se eu passar.
Pronto, chegando.
Qual foi José? Cadê o manto sagrado? Tem que usar uma camisa de peso aí. José, é normal sentir que os dedos e a mão tal esfarelando DPS de terminar uma corrida?
Pode entrar box,
Meu
cuidado
Deus,
aí.
gente. Pô, que isso, gente?
O cara veio continuando ali por causa do dedo, velho. Não foi nem culpa minha aquilo ali, mano. Tá correto.
Ah, pode. Tomara que eu não tomo.
Eu não toquei ninguém, porra.
Ele não foi eu não, mano.
Eu sabia. Foda-se, depois de ver.
Não,
Caralho,
então
atropelaram o TNR Skid aqui, pô.
O jovem não fui nem eu, tá? Eu acabei sendo vítima até.
Coloca Proton.
Tire mal aí pelo toque, tá?
Relaxa, guys, vambora.
Meu carro é roxo, vermelho é o green.
Não, relaxa, mas tipo assim...
Gente, velho, faz nosso jogo, mano.
Se é pra atropelar os GT aí, vocês vão tomar punição, velho. Cuidado aí, cara.
Atualização aqui, querido. O Zul não vai te atacar porque ele tá tentando se distanciar de mim, tá? Quase pegando o ar, tá? Agora já perdi.
Tu acha que é bom a gente disputar com ele?
Acho que sim, mano. Tô tomando carry, mano. Ele não vai te atacar, velho.
Cara, mas...
Não, vai embora. Segue a toninha.
Não sei se eu consigo forçar alguma
O
coisa.
Carlos perdeu um tempinho comigo aqui, tá? Pegou no
Ele
chiquinho.
perdeu comigo também.
Ele tomou uns 10 carros do Green.
O Green abriu, velho. Deu sorte, tô usando vocês.
Sim.
Vou entrar box que volta.
Daqui duas. Tá 20. Salve, Noel.
Tô chegando, tá?
Por dentro.
Tá por fora, velho.
Sou eu, cara. Eu tô aqui por último. Pode ir por dentro, velho. Só avisar.
Tá potente, né?
Meu Deus. Proto chegando antes do box. Alguém vai entrar no box agora não, né?
Não.
Pit na próxima, hein, do GT.
Tá nessa ou na próxima?
Na próxima.
Me fudendo, olha o tanto de GT, velho.
Ai.
Bibi.
Caralho, tu perdeu tempo aqui.
Sou eu, MG, atrás de você aí. Pode abrir pra mim, vai.
É foda aqui, né? Dos S. Foda. Vai. Boa.
Obrigado.
Ah, que é isso, mano?
Mano, eu achei que você tinha me visto, velho. Eu tava do seu lado ali.
Mas eu fiz a minha linha, cara.
Foi lag. Meu Deus, velho.
Não é possível que são vocês dois aqui, guys. Não é possível, na moral mesmo. Na moral mesmo que são vocês dois aqui.
Depois nós vemos, bora, foco.
Bora, depois nós vemos.
Vou ficar por dentro aqui, sabe? Não pode ir por fora aí. Não vou espalhar na saída. Ué. Tá. Para nessa aqui, tá? Tô parando agora.
Pare uma antes.
Parou uma antes?
É.
Ah, mas tá suave sim, tá suave. O carro embicar mais no meio da curva. É.
Conseguimos ver no fundo dos olhos de Gatilho sua frustração de estar atrás a corrida inteira de uma BMW. F total.
Pior que é, Dart.
Ô, Relâmpago, eu não vou te passar, eu tô tirando o pé, só vai.
Isso P que o C8 tá manco a M4 que tá op.
caralho, pra ligar o ar.
Pronto, chegando.
Terceiro.
Oi.
Perdão. Vou carregar um pouco de velocidade aqui.
Quem é o Proto chegando no S?
Eu.
E Winter não é.
Pode.
Se nós tivesse adiantado uma em todas, nunca ia pegar GT no jogo.
Sim.
Nossa. Quem é que tá atrás do código?
Eu. Quer dizer, grupo quartos.
GTP, vamos de hack, eu acho que é o terceiro.
Tô chegando aqui, tô no box. Entrada do box. Ai caralho, alguém errou.
Vou ainda se ficar aqui, mano.
A T1 e o S tá foda pra mim, né? Além.
Relaxa.
entrar box, não vai sair de trânsito.
Não, velho, estratégia deu ruim demais.
Deu zoom, mano.
O zoom tá sem parar ainda, relaxa. Tá 6 segundos na minha frente aqui.
Bosta, mano. Manda foto do cacete.
Volta.
Caralho, hein, pode.
Deu o quê, mano? Eu acho que a próxima box eu não saio no trânsito mais não, mas esse daqui eu vou sair novo.
Também.
50, o próximo, ok, o próximo é 40.
Correto.
E vai entrar box e volta.
Vai entrar daqui 5 ainda. Mano, o zoom tá fazendo uma estratégia muito estranha, ele não parou ainda, velho. Um pit só, não falta 26. Porra é essa?
Fica atrás da gente, velho, que merda.
Bom, vou sair até de boa, sai sem trânsito.
Fudi então. Nossa, só pegar todo mundo lá no S, velho. Caralho, velho, Europa na minha frente.
Tem ali atrás o Legacy.
Não sei se eu boto de lado.
Eles não parou agora. Ele vai sair com vocês mais ou menos ainda. Ele deu uma errada essa última volta, perdeu um tempo, tá? Perdeu tipo um segundo quase.
Vi sim, Luciano.
Foi mal.
Mano.
Caralho, quem que é esse caralho aqui, velho?
Não, etapa 2.
O MGS foi atrás de você, mano. Vai como me ajudar, velho.
Você tá aqui?
É.
Só passa, vou tirar o pé.
Caralho, mano.
Isso aqui, tá?
É Murilo meu nome, ô Luciano. Tamo junto. Não, Murilo Galã. Murilo Góes é outra pessoa.
Peraí, mano.
My bad.
Acertei o zoom, velho. E acabou.
Acho que eu matei o Legacy. Eu freiei pra não matar ninguém. Aí o Legacy veio bater em mim, eu acho que rodou, velho.
Bibi.
Meu Deus.
Vai por dentro.
Ai,
Caralho, o carro não vira.
Só vem muito rápido.
mano, o Proto fez uma doença aqui e eu perdi o vácuo agora.
Relaxa que tu consegue.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
São dois Murilo. Os GT parar na próxima, tá?
Beleza.
Quem tá vindo aqui atrás pode ir por dentro, vai por dentro aí.
Beleza, obrigado.
Eita, o zoom.
O zoom caiu.
Caiu. Nossa.
Obrigado pelos 50 bits,
bom,
Luciano. Tamo junto.
Ô, Gatilho, pelo amor de Deus, mano.
Para nada.
Ah, vou parar nessa aqui, tá?
por dentro, Coque.
Demorou pra avisar, mano. Você me fudeu.
Sabia que era teu.
Pera aí, gente, eu tô fora.
Adiantei meu box.
Eu não vou não.
Eu tô em trânsito com trás.
Tem muita gente aí? Tem não.
Tem não, não tem não. Eu só não entrei porque, mano, não dá, velho.
O cara da frente vai perder tempo.
Eu vou normal. Pra mim é pior se fizer isso.
Não sei se é pior. Não tem.
Não tô parado em 50, né, Coach?
A última é 40 pra vocês, você tá normal.
Não, você adiantou.
Eu coloquei 50.
Beleza, vou colocar 50 também.
Onde apareceu esse cara?
de áudio também, viu?
Quem que é esse carro amarelo aqui atrás?
É o carry de eu.
Não deu pra atrasar, não.
Uma cola dele.
É tu?
É, mas tá suave.
Ah, você vai pegar os S e tira o pé ali. Ah, só vai. Nossa, viado. Tinha que ser por dentro, my bad, tinha que ser por dentro.
Segundo, né? Já era.
É que foi my bad, tinha que ser botar por dentro ali, pô.
Não tinha, eu perdi tempo, pô.
Sim. Tinha que ter tirado o pé antes, então.
Senão vai dar merda. Boa, boa.
Fodeu. Vamos ser banidos dessa porra aqui.
Bora, tá?
Desceu 2 marchas no carro.
Próxima reta, tá?
Murilo e Code quebrando tudo. Codex estava em segundo, fez um undercut, isso. MG em primeiro, seleção. Podemos ver que Gatilho não aguenta mais estar na traseira da BMW. Hoje ele vai ter pesadelos com essa traseira.
Perdão também.
Não.
Para na próxima, hein?
Quer botar quantos por cento?
30, se eu excluir 8. Parar nessa.
Ô, velho, não sei quem é não, mas foi D5. Nem esbarrou aqui.
Ele vai deixar o carro passar, mano.
Tinha que ter parado juntamente com o Grem. Vai terminar P3.
O carro dele tá mais rápido que o meu. Ele passou no pit.
Nossa.
Acho que ele passou por muito.
Será que ele esqueceu o combustível?
Tomara. Ele já tava abastecido já. Passou eu e me tirou do vácuo. Isso.
Eu aposto que na cabeça de Gatilho, deve estar aquele narrador falando. Acaba logo pelo amor de Deus, acaba pelo amor de Deus. E sim, Gatilho pode confirmar isso, ele quer uma melhora no C8, ele quer um BOP mais restritivo para a BMW. Amanhã de manhã, Gatilho irá pixar o muro da sede da Racinga vem, pedindo melhora do C8, a indignação e a frustração de Gatilho, está atravessando a tela, quebrando barreiras.
Agora sou eu, mano. Se você quiser cortar caminho, eu vou deixar eu passar, eu agradeço, tá?
Chegar aqui eu abro pra você. Só faz por dentro, é normal.
Normalmente, tem que andar.
Me fudendo.
Olha lá, alguém tirando o pé. Tá bom, tá?
Eu nem fiz isso. Que isso, mano?
Caraca, o Sabino fez a boa. Te rendeu um segundo de penal, mas pensa pelo lado bom, não é a traseira de uma BMW agora.
Fiquei com o Kevin, vem.
Esse prato tá invisível, né, Lê?
Tá.
Acabou pros proto, né?
Estamos na 43 ainda do GT. cara comentou aqui, Ronaldinho do Forza, velho.
Matei o carry. Eu só vou seguir, tá? Mas matei ele.
Perdão.
Eu vou seguir pra depois o RCV, né?
Sim.
Como é que ficou aí na frente?
Eu matei o carry, acho que não tem como tomar muito fone.
Mas como é que ficou aí na frente o pódio?
Eu, Kirino, Carriage, NDL9, Pipes, o Choralou, NDL Dindo, Ziggs, Kevin, Ardino e tu.
Ah, cadê o Dani?
Caiu, eu acho.
Tá aqui na minha frente.
Ah não, então. É, porque vocês estão correndo, é que vocês estão correndo ainda, então pera.
Não deixou passar? Deixou passar no final ali.
GG.
GG, GG. Perdão pelo toque
Fechar a
ali,
live
Dani.
aqui agora. Fechar a live aqui agora. Thank you, guys.
Ai, toquezinho no final ali, tomou pune, cara. Putz. Perdão pelo toque. Mano, a gente tava no gap, cara, pra pegar a posição do TNR Skid. E aí eu fui pra areia, velho. Legal. Legal demais.
Mano, o meu S. Sério, mano. Eu tava vomitando em todos os meus S, cara. Vai tomar no cu, velho. Que coisa mais feia da minha vida, velho. Caralho, cara. Eu perdi papo de 3 décimos. Ponto 3, ponto... Meu Deus. Cara. Mano, eu matei o Carriage, velho. Alguém tem live ainda?
Eu tô.
Bom, é isso.
Eu não tava conseguindo dar dive nele, velho.
Eu vou dar uma olhada aqui no que aconteceu comigo ali no último ali, que eu acho que o cara me matou, velho.
Não sei eu, Dani. Eu tava errando sozinho mesmo, cara. Tava errando sozinho mesmo. Mas é isso aí, rapaziada. Obrigado aí pela companhia. Eu vou encerrar a live aqui por enquanto. Por hoje. Dá uma olhada nos replay aí. Beleza?
Beleza.
Isso aí. Valeu, rapaziada. Tamo junto aí. Pera aí, encerra não? O que que é? Fala pra eu. Tô preparando um áudio. Ué.
Já fechou a live, gatilho?
Vou fechar agora. Ô Ô, Dert, não dá pra te
Pode
esperar,
mandar
velho.
áudio? Quem que tá mandando áudio?
Já volta aí.